Cloud Gilberts. Welcome to my live call, live here in my house, in my gym. And it comes with a question: how to get paid 24 hours a day? How do you do that? And for those of you that do not know me, I've been involved in network marketing for over 40 years. I share a lot of what I've learned in my live calls, my journey on these live calls. So I was the guy that started in this business totally broke, sold a junk truck to get started, put $200 into my business. In the last 28 years now, I've been full-time in network marketing. So I'm going to give some shout out to some people joining us now. Charles in Georgia. Hey, Joe in Alaska. How are you? You got any cold weather out there yet? What's it like? Nice to see you. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. And who else we got joining? And Jody from Alabama. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well, Jody in Alabama. Beautiful fall weather here in the Smokies. It's rainy today though, but that's okay. We got to water all this beautiful creation over here. And then we got Diane in the Philippines. Nice to see you. So far, you're the furthest one out. Good morning, Diane in the Philippines. Don't know what part of the Philippines you're in, but I hope you're doing well. And who else we got joining tonight, depending on where you are in the world. Oh, really? Joe says, you already got snow in Alaska? Oh my gosh. It's not unusual, because I live in the mountains here in Tennessee. We've had, I can think of 2 years that November 1st, we got buried in snow, like 18 inches. So, yeah. It happens, sometimes it comes very quick. And the Farmer's Almanac is predicting a heavy winter with snow. We'll see. We'll see if they're right this year, but you never know. So anyway, I hope everyone is doing well. And it's like the last of the month, and people are, many people in their companies are going, they're probably on the phone right now trying to inspire people to do more. Remember what I said in the past. Hey, John, remember what I said in the past. If you want to have great month ends, if you want to have a great month end, start in the beginning of the month. Don't wait until the end of the month to call your people to try to inspire them to do more. Do it in the beginning of the month. And it needs to be with the attitude or the feeling they get from you that you're doing this for them. It's not for you. It's more for their benefit than your benefit. It's like, hey, what can I do to help you? What can I do to make what you do easier? Who can I talk to with you? Any three-way calls we can do. Anything that you can do to make it more more easier for them to have success in network marketing. We should do that in the beginning of the month and begin those conversations with, how are you doing? How's your family doing? How's your kids doing? Before you get into business, right? It's those small little touches. Someone say, oh man, I got to do all that. No, you don't have to do all that. Just keep doing what you're doing and you'll get the same results. And then when you get tired of that, then try it this way. Okay? Yeah. It's like the old saying, you know, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So anyway, so I titled this video, How to Get Paid 24 Hours a Day. The people not looking at this video are perfectly happy with 8 hours, I guess. But if you're not, I assume that because you're here now, you're interested in getting paid 24 hours a day. And it's really interesting how you can set your life up that way, because a lot of people do. A lot of people do. But in network marketing, how can you do that? Well, here's how I did it, and that's the only way I can explain it. And that is, I didn't just sponsor in the United States alone. So we got different countries represented right now on this call. So you don't want to just stay in your country. Most likely, if you go to your company's website, at the very top of the website, it'll ask you to click on the country that you're interested in. You know, like for example, if let's say your company's doing business in Spain, you share your web page to that person, to a prospect in Spain, and they want to enroll. Well, when they at the top of that, it'll say select your country. They'll select Spain, right? So the reason why I'm bringing that up is you need to know how many countries your company is in. How many countries your company is in. Then what you want to do is start thinking how you can find people that know people in those countries. That was how I did that. So for example, when I can remember when I was mostly just building in the US, the company announced that they were going to open in Korea. They were registering the products in South Korea. Well, I didn't know anybody in South Korea. I didn't know anybody outside of North America. Now, by the way, I get paid out of 57 countries today. 57 countries, all in different time zones. Okay. But what I did do is I put the word out to people that I knew. I said, hey, do you know anybody in South Korea? Finally, somebody came back and said, yeah, I know a doctor in South Korea, and he likes to promote alternative health products as well as network marketing opportunities. So I sent him an email explaining what we were doing. He emailed me back and said, hey, I'm interested in doing business with you. And that was how that happened. And so he joined. Now, the same thing proved to be true in Japan. When I asked, and some of you have heard my trainings on taprooting, that in other words, when you have people in your team, ask them questions like, who do you know? Who do you know? If you're interested in building internationally and getting paid 24 hours a day, that is getting paid while you sleep, you need to get good at asking who do you know in whatever countries that your company is in. Start getting your leaders to think that way, because they do know people. I remember I talked to one girl, she knew someone in Japan. And she said, but you don't speak Japanese, do you? I said, no. Well, he doesn't speak English. I said, yeah, but you're Japanese and you can translate. Well, that's what she did. We did a 3-way call. Long story short, he came in, built a massive group. So here I had a team in Korea, I had a team in Japan, and then it went from there. One country after another. Anytime the company made announcements that we're going in this country, I was busy on the phone talking to the leaders. Who do you know? And you need to talk to your people and find out who they know. Do you find people in that are in that country, and then let's reach out to them and see if we can interest them in joining. How much work does that really take? Not a lot. It's working smart, though. It's working intelligently. And when you do that, then like tonight, when I finally crash, go to bed, guess what's happening on the other side of the earth? In the Philippines. We got some from the Philippines on this call right now. In the Philippines, in Japan, in Korea, in Singapore, in Malaysia, in Indonesia, in Taiwan, in Thailand, in Hong Kong, in India. Do you realize that those countries make up about 70% of the volume in network marketing companies? Yeah, it's big money, actually. So why would you build in those countries? Those countries are on steroids when it comes to making money. So, and if you looked at the Direct Sales Association that your company's probably a part of, the DSA, and you look and do some research on the lineup of network marketing companies, what countries do the most volume, those are the countries to be in. Sure, be in the United States, but be in those countries too. So that, when you wake up in the morning and the sun rises and you're talking to your leaders in the US and Canada, great, fine. And you work with those leaders. And then at nighttime, when you're crashing and leaders in those countries, those Asian countries are getting going, while you're sleeping, you're making money. That's one way. So that's one way. That's how you get it started. That's how you get your network marketing cash machine to produce cash. Now, here's the second way. Now that you have cash coming in, what are you going to do with it? Now keep in mind, it's not what you make, it's what you keep that matters. It's what you keep that matters, right? So don't be like a drunk sailor and blow it all. There's nothing wrong with rewarding yourself. Nothing wrong with, if you getting buying a house that you and your family are going to love and enjoy, things like that. But when you get beyond the necessities of what makes you happy, then be smart. And then always, even while you're doing all that, if you get Tony Robbins' book, it's called, let me find it. It is, I was looking at it just the other day. I want to make sure I did this right. Okay. So, there it is. Audible. Yeah. Yeah, it's called Unshakable. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I did that right. Tony Robbins' book, Unshakable. Tony, and this is not a big book. You can get the audio book if you want. I think he did a very brilliant job in that book teaching you how to invest in the stock market. And then actually in an investment firm that you can go through that doesn't really charge you that much, You don't get all these hidden fees and things like that. But it's a very intelligent book that teaches you how, even if you and that's the key, is consistently setting money aside every month and investing in solid companies, and that money will grow, that pot will grow. And it's one of those things, you put it there and you forget about it, and then focus on building your business. Again, the reason why I bring that up, because certainly that's something that I do, and that is I invest in things so that they grow, so that I'm making money while I sleep. The same would be true even if you went into real estate. Like vacation or real estate is excellent. It's excellent. I'm not big on buying houses and renting them by the month to people, because when they don't pay, you got to take them to court and get them out, right? But vacation rental property is like, it'll pay you 10 times, what you would make versus doing it that way. But great investment. You can get your investment back just depending on where you buy it. The reason why I bring that up again, because that's making money while you sleep. You use your network marketing money to invest in things that will grow. Invest in things that are not employee related or that has upfront costs like a traditional business, right? In other words, it just makes you money while you sleep. Same thing with that type of rental real estate. There's great money in it. The thing that you want to do is take your network marketing machine and turn it into a wealth building machine and make money 24 hours a day while you sleep. That's what a lot of your professional network marketers do. That's what they do. If you want to know what they do, that's what they do. That's what they do. So going back to, let's go back for a minute though, to the network marketing side of, even I can remember when I started in my last company almost 22 years ago, I can remember that I always worked in time zones in the United States. So I would start on the East Coast, that time zone, because it gets later than the West, right? It's much later than Central, Mountain, or Pacific time zones. And what I would do is when I had my list, my prospect list out, I always prioritized the time zones and where these people lived. So if somebody lived in, let's say, New York State or North Carolina, then I would start calling those people first. And when it got to a point where it was like 9 o'clock at night, I'm like, that's the cutoff. Now I switch to, okay, let's go Central. So I go to Central because 9 o'clock here is 8 o'clock Central. Now I've got, another hour window of time there, and I'm start banging out, the contacts that I have there, reaching out to people in the Central zone. Then I work my way to, yes, you get it, the mountain, and then finally Pacific. And Pacific, 9 o'clock Pacific is 12 o'clock Eastern. And so that was basically my cutoff time and that was how I worked. That doesn't mean that has to be how you worked. It's just, I was crazy, tenacious about getting my business built. And I wanted to do it fast. And that's how I worked. I worked time zones. And then now it's funny because now I work, just different countries around the world, right? So if it's 9 o'clock here, it might be in the evening. It's like 9 in the morning in the Philippines. So that's fine too, because I can actually reach out to people internationally in the evening and talk to them. Or in the morning when I get up, if I, let's say, start making phone calls by 9 o'clock, or if I'm using WhatsApp, either way, that's a phone call. But at 9 o'clock in the morning, that could be 9 in the evening in the Philippines, and a lot of your Asians stay up late anyway. So learn how to work your time zones and do it right. And again, understand, know the countries that your company is in, and then start putting the word out to people in your downline. And if you don't have much of a downline, then start targeting, for example, Asian populations in the United States. If you look at Atlanta, Georgia, if you look at LA, a lot of your cities, you're going to see there's a lot of Asians. Get resourceful in reaching out to people. Even in Facebook, you can find different Asian groups that you can join, be a part of, and then start making some connections and then reaching out to people saying, hey, I've got something you may or may not be interested in. Why don't you take a look at it and tell me? And if you start doing that, then you can start sponsoring people like that. And I know, because this is how you do it, then they're going to recruit right back where? In their own countries. For example, that was how we, got in the Philippines, recruited some Filipinos in San Francisco. They in turn were shipping products to the Philippines. And next thing a team was started there. That's how it happens. But be resourceful, be intentional. That is, hey, I really want to be there. Just like when our company announced we were going to be in South Korea, I said, doggone it, man. I want a team in South Korea. I don't know anything about South Korea. Don't know the language. Never been outside of North America, but I want a team there. And that's how it worked. And that's how I got into South Korea. And don't think that, again, to have teams there that you have to travel there, you have to jump on a plane. Right now with COVID, it's not really practical, right? No. when you sponsor people in the United States, and think about it, I mean, I think there's like 20 million Asians living in the United States, for example. And this is true for those of you in the Philippines that are watching right now. How many Filipinos are in the United States? A bunch, millions. You could be sponsoring art right over here in this country. That's how you do it. So be smart, be intentional. You can do it. And anyway, just want to give you a shout out from my gym, and nice to connect with you tonight. Just want to give you those tips, how to get paid 24 hours a day while you sleep even. And then use your network marketing money wisely in investing in things that are residual, such as the stock market, such as the real estate. Don't watch too much of the news, okay? But get Tony's book, either the book or get the audio version of Unshakable. Like I said, it's not a big book, but I got the audio, and listen to it. And I think you'll be very inspired, and you'll understand it's very easy to invest safely in the stock market. Anyway, I hope all of you are doing well, and thanks for joining. And if you got some value out of this, you want to share it. For those of you that don't have my book, Reaching the Peak, it's on Amazon in English and Spanish. And my wife is just about finishing the Mandarin Chinese translation. Oh my gosh, she's been doing that. That's a very complicated translation. And then let me see, what was she saying? I saw something. How do you feel about drop shipping? Drop shipping, you mean drop shipping internationally? What do you mean by drop shipping? Most network marketing companies now are going to free shipping, and people buy direct. So you share your link to your page. You should have your page, and you share that with a prospect, or somebody wants to purchase your product. They buy direct from the company, and is shipped directly to them. So that's usually how that works in most companies now. Because of Amazon, it's forced a lot of them to go to free shipping. So not a bad thing, and you're welcome. Thank you, Gary, from the Philippines. I wish all of you a great evening. Take care.